Hello all and welcome back to High Ridge Farm with me, the Walrus. Now into our second week during the autumn or fall season, we are prime and charged, ready for blackberry season. Now, I have decided that if I eat myself a tropical curry, I will increase, well, I say decided, I have noticed that if I eat a tropical curry, I can do words good, yes, I will be able to improve my foraging skill. Now, the basic level one gives you a +4, but because I've been using some of Mr. Key's ingredient special powder, which goodness gracious, who knows what that is, I'm getting very much Futurama vibes of when Bender adds just LSD to everything. What it'll do for me, however, is it will give me a +5 to foraging. Now, I'm aware that there is a threshold level based on your foraging skill, which gives you more berries, because normally a berry bush will only give you 3 if you have a foraging skill of 10. I currently have a foraging skill of 14 because I've eaten the non-Mr. Key improved one first. That means that each berry bush will be dropping 4 every time I interact with it. Also, it'll mean that I'll get more wood from trees, and that's something that I hadn't really considered when I was doing, well, not really stressing, but I was considering how am I going to get more wood. Food itself, because I might have had a look at what I can actually cook earlier, will allow me to improve the general production of parts of the farm and my general antics. Now, I'm curious to see if the same principle applies to mining and whether you get more coal if you have a higher mining skill. So that is something I will be testing at some point. For example, I got 5 copper ore there, but I wonder if I would get more copper ore if I have a higher mining skill. Of course, that does rely on me working out and finding foods that provide an improvement to mining. It's not difficult, but it is a thing that I've got to be aware of and consider. Now, we'll reorganize that. That's fine. Now, where next? Well, let's go into here. Now, I still need a few more kegs. Not kegs, sorry. Pickling jars. Preserve jars to finish off this side of the environment, which is kind of the next thing that I'm looking at the moment. So, that's fine. That's hunky-dory. We'll go from there. Lovely stuff. So I'm going to quickly sell a bunch of things that I don't need, like the animals out of the fish traps. Yes, I can still make quality fertilizer from them, but at the moment that's not really something that I'm that concerned about. There are many other things that I actually need to be more aware of and consider in a bit more detail, and that is not one of them. Righty, so let's see what we can do. So we've got some bombs, fine. Now, I'm being very careful with bombs because I'm painfully aware I am an idiot. And there's a high likelihood that I will screw up something fierce, as I have already done so twice whilst playing. In recent weeks as well, that's the worst part. It's the, I know I'm a moron, so let's hope for the best, please. It's a joy, isn't it? It's when you just go, you know what? I am an idiot. But c'est la vie. Not much else I can do on that one. Now, let's see what else we can sort out on this front. Now, one of the other things that I do want to check and see is relating to the what's the word I'm looking for? Relating to the value of products and things out there. Because I do kind of want to be aware of how much stuff is worth. There we go. So look at that. We're getting 4 blackberries a bush. I only got 3 off of that one. And then we got... Oh no, it was hiding. That's fine. You know. We still end up with our useful. And that's good. We'll grab those. That's hunky-dory. So again, the blackberries themselves... not that useful, sadly. Blackberry jam isn't that helpful to me right now, because I've got a much greater value from them, in that when I sell them, because they're one iridium quality due to my chosen skills, and the other thing as well is that with the bear's knowledge, or whatever it is, I don't have any benefit in the sense that I generate more money out of them than, well, I could otherwise, which kind of is a shame, but that's just how it works, I'm afraid, on that one. So, you know, we'll deal with that. That's just going to be how it goes. Okay, so let's cut down these trees and we'll grab the blackberries, because that's going to be a good chunk of my logic for today, is to harvest as much as physically possible from all of these available resources to me. And I don't think that's a terrible thing to sort of want to do, because really what I'm after is the wood, and I'm after the blackberries, because the blackberries themselves might not seem like they're that useful, but they do give me quite a benefit with the fact that I can just quickly sell them. They're not individually super valuable, but it's an easy blast of extra cash. There we go. And there's plenty of bushes like these 5 here, so that's another 21, because there's one on the ground there. And again, that's just going to be how it goes. Okay. So let's see. Anything else that we can sort out on this front? That's a good next question, isn't it? Okay, so we're going to grab those. We're going to grab those. That's fine. We'll cut down this tree. Now, that little passage there, I know they lay down the little logs, the wooden bridge, but my goodness, does it give me a little bit of a weird kind of... I feel bad for George. Because imagine being in a wheelchair and getting wheeled over, because I don't think he does it himself. I mean, yes, he can wheel himself around, but imagine being wheeled over a rickety wood bridge like that. That just... yeah, no. Yeah, just full on. No. Not something I like the idea of. Thanks kindly. But yeah, that's that might be me on that one, but no. But again, we're cutting down all these trees. We're getting lots of wood, and yeah, it's a bit of general deforestation. But these trees grow back quickly enough. Which, oh man, if only they did actually in real life. Because imagine the high speed. You could be like, well, I'll cut down a tree this afternoon, and a week later, it's back fully grown. That would have made having a tree house so much easier. Like, as a kid, like, my parents' home doesn't have, like, a particularly massive area. It's a humble size, shall we say. It's reasonable. It's just nothing particularly special, I would suggest. But that's just my parents' place. The joy that I've seen when I grew up, there was, I think it was my father's cousin, my great aunt and uncle or something like that. They had a beautiful house with an enormous oak tree in it and a huge amount of land. To be fair, though, I grew up in the south of England where everything is very expensive, and my dad's side of the family are all from the far north, Northumbria. And Northumbria is beautiful, lovely place, and heck, I'd love to retire up there someday. If ever that happens. With being a millennial, we don't know if we can actually retire. But the land is cheap. And seeing the just expanse of land of this beautiful, huge garden with these huge trees, it had a 2-story tree house. So you went up from one level, and these were not small, low ceilings. These, as an adult, you could stand up in them comfortably. And then there was another floor above it, and it was just amazing. And it was something that none of my friends around here had tree houses, because again, none of us could afford, like, none of our families, our parents could afford such large trees. With such large land areas. Ooh, here we go. Leo needs 1 heart. Just 1. So I need some mangoes. But yes, that, you know, my weird rant of like, it'd be great to have tree houses. It's something that I know shamelessly when it comes to playing games like Minecraft, I do build tree houses. Especially in the jungle biome where the trees are so large. I'm just like, yeah, that'll be cool as hell. Righty, cranberries. Well, I've actually got a bunch of cranberry plants over on Ginger Island, so I could achieve that very quickly. So let's do that one. That'll be easy. That's great. I don't see any problem with that, so that's good and all. Let's quickly whip back to the farm. And I mean, we've got 182 blackberries already. That is not a small amount of blackberry, which is great and all, having that much blackberry goodness. And hey, it's handy. More than anything, being able to have all those blackberries is like, oh yeah. I mean, for like value in the sense I can just sell them, so that's the thing. Right, so we're going to quickly grab the plants from in here, and it's the mangoes. Now, I've forgotten that I planted 3 mango trees in here. I think I need to duplicate a couple of other trees. I don't think there's any really that are of, like, particularly critically high value, sadly. So I think I'm going to have to think about that one as I sort of go forward on this one. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll just trundle on into the cave, grab what's in here. Oh, some morel. That's nice. Again, not like the most useful of things, but it's a thing all the same. And yeah, we're gonna have it because yeah, might as well. Now, I believe I'm probably incorrect on this one, as I was quite rightly pointed out to by a very new subscriber. That one, I'm an idiot, and that one can get 3 refined quartz from a fire quartz, and I don't have any in my inventory because I've been selling it all because I'm an idiot. Yeah. Believe me, I feel dumb for selling it all. So the first time I grab some or see some, I'm going to grab and, you know, test that it is correct. It's not that I disbelieve you, it's more so I'm an idiot and I am painfully aware of my stupidity. I'd like to make sure that I am prepared for my general idiocy. Okay, so I'm going to remove the braziers because I've got an idea about building a shed over there. Now, hopefully that won't take too long because I would like to put a shed there. I think that's a sensible plan. Generally speaking, I think it's not a bad idea because it should give me a decent amount of production space, because what I'm going to use that shed for is that's going to be where I'm going to have all my storage facilities. I'm going to have a bunch of furnaces going in there, and it's going to be just organized, because that's really what I'm after at this point, is a little bit of organization. Yes, I'm sinking money away from what's it called? I'm sinking money away from my ability to get towards the 10 million. But on this one, it's not the end of the world. A little bit of money to kind of reorganize and try to make my logics a little bit more efficient isn't a bad thing, honestly. And I think that's kind of what I'm after, is just general efficiency and just trying to make things work. Because if I can sort that out, then, you know, we're in a better place. And that's not a bad thing. Not a bad thing at all, really. And that's going to be what I'm going to aim for, is really, like, can I make sure that things work out well? One hopes so, because goodness gracious. I've got lots of plans. Plans within plans, my friends. Plans within plans. And that's not a bad thing, is it? Right, now, one of the other things I do need to do is build some more mayonnaise machines after blowing up a bunch of them previously, being that I am an idiot. It's very much of an ID10T issue. Problem exists between keyboard and chair, and other IT acronyms. Oh my goodness, look at all that starfruit wine. Lovely. Well, that's getting sold. Now, I'm going to crack a bunch of starfruit back in as well. One of the tests I'm going to run as well is when some of the ancient fruit comes to iridium maturation of aging, I'm going to see if I am correct in my assumption that ancient fruit wine is more valuable. If that is not the case, I am going to be a little bit miffed with myself because, of course, that's something that I'd assumed to be correct. And yes, that is my own fault for assuming, as once one assumes, you make an ass out of you and me. And, yeah, I'm pretty good at doing that, to be fair. Making a general ass of myself. So we'll see. So hopefully we can kind of figure this out. Okay, so we've got lots more going on in here. Going to dump a bunch more fruit in here. And look at this, I've got loads of pineapples. And pineapples are going to be another high-value fruit. They're not as high value as starfruit, I know that for a fact. But they are a very high-value fruit, which is fantastically helpful. And that's something that we're going to kind of drive towards, is using pineapples as a stopgap, because I know the value of what are they called, of starfruit jelly. I think it's like 1,500, and 1,500 guinea pigs is yeah, that's not a small amount of cash. So yeah, that's going to be where I'm sort of like looking at, and what can I achieve with that. Again, not a bad thing to sort of look at. Now we've got some more fantastic sap, which is good. We're going to need a lot of sap, to be fair, and that's not a bad thing, in all honesty. Having lots of it. Now look at all these cranberries, conveniently ready when I needed them. That is phenomenally helpful. And the cranberries themselves, again, they don't sell for a silly amount. I planted them just because they are a continual producer. And again, I'm kind of debating whether I actually get rid of them. Well, not really get rid of them, but don't worry so much about them and just flog them as soon as I get them, rather than waiting to try to turn them into preserves. Unless I can build a bunch more preserve jars and put them on the island. Because, well, I've got the whole house and I don't really use it for anything. I don't even need a bed there. Maybe I could just strip all the furniture out of the house and just turn it into a big shed. Ugh. Totally not trying to think like an industrialist on this. Okay, so we've got lots more sap. That's good. And well, none of the starfruit's ready right now, but it won't be long before it is, by the looks of things. That's fantastic news. Okay, what else can we sort of wrangle? What do I want to put here? I think that's the question. I'm going to go and visit Mr. Key. Now that it's Monday, I have a sneaking suspicion that he is going to provide for us another quest. Or task, or whatever you want to call it. And that's going to be something I think I should have a look at. Yeah, 100 of each. Get in. We'll do that. Yeah, he really doesn't give you much time for the fishing challenge, does he? I hadn't appreciated that low level on the fishing challenge was like kind of a permanent thing. I thought that was just because I hadn't had that many days left in the time of being able to do stuff, so I need to be aware of that. If I'm gonna try and do the catching of the other super rare fish, I need to be a little bit more with it, almost. Which isn't a bad thing to sort of think about, but it's something I'm gonna have to consider a bit more than I am already. And again, that's not a terrible thing to sort of think about, but I do need to be aware of. So, let's see what else we can kind of do on this one. Well, we've made a healthy 410,000 today. All that wine, I think. It's probably had something to do with it. Not a bad day at all. Okay, so we're into Tuesday. It's 6 AM, bright and early. We're ready to get raring and do a thing, which is fantastic. So, my lovely child and her knight helmet. And now I've got to figure out what other helmet I want to put the other child in. Because, you know, we're having another kid, apparently. Frightening concept, really. But that's also just because I'm not somebody who has or wants kids, so the idea of having children scares the absolute bagora out of me. Not gonna lie. Okay, it's 1 week from today. We've got the Stardew Valley Festival. So that is when I need to have my Grange display. That's not a problem. I've already got a Grange display from last year that did well. No worries. Shouldn't be a problem at all. Yeah. We kind of got to figure that one out a little bit, though. Hopefully we can organise something convenient. Righty, so what do we want to smell? We've got a lot of gold ore, haven't we? Let's just crack this in here. We'll put the iron in. That's good. That'll be easy enough, I guess. What next, though? Well, we're going to reorganize this. Now, I know that the things that I'm going to need, the things I'm going to struggle with when it comes to the color challenge, it was a struggle. It's orange, because you need, like, copper is kind of one of the best ones for that. And, what else is another good one? There's another thing. Oh, yeah, purple. Purple's the one that always fuddles my brain. I think, stress on the think, that one can use bug meat for it. So I'm going to have to go down to, I think, floors 40 and so on in the caves. I know bugs can spawn from floor 1, but the scarier bugs that can give you more stuff arrive from floor 40 onwards. So that's going to be my thought process on that one. Right. Lovely jubbly. Kind of just got to figure out what else we can do today. I mean, there's got to be some other plans that we can actually manage to wrangle today. Which is really what we're after. It's just, is there anything else that we can do to make life easier? Well, let's cut down these trees. We're going to grab blackberries. So, we'll do all that. Lovely stuff. Now, one of the things I'm considering, I know I sort of like started to talk about it earlier, is does the quality of a product that you give to somebody like as a gift, does that make a difference on how much friendship it generates? Because I'm not sure if it does. Like, genuinely, I don't know. Like, part of my brain goes, yeah, no, it clearly doesn't. But why wouldn't it? Surely that as an option isn't a bad thing to try to figure out. So I'm going to have to try and figure that one out myself. Well, I say try and figure it out. I'm not quite sure how one does figure that nonsense out, but we are going to have to sort of look at it. And whether we can figure that out is a very different question. Okay, so we've got some more blackberries, which is lovely. Because, again, we're just going to get lots of blackberries. That's just going to be how this goes right now. And that's not a bad thing. Blackberries are great. And cutting down trees is fantastic. Because they're good forageable skills. And it's the sort of thing that I wish I'd really paid attention to a little bit earlier when I was playing through. Because it would be fantastically useful to have actually realised or thought about this. Goodness. Much, much earlier in the game. And it really does kind of annoy me that I didn't consider it as a thing to really think about. And yeah, I feel stupid. which, you know, I don't think is something to not think about in theory. But yeah, I feel a bit dense for not having considered it. So, we'll live. So yeah. Okay. So I'm going to try and move the bin around a little bit here, because this is going to be like my attempts to get this to work. Right, and Juno, I don't need another Junimo hut, that's fine. But what else do I kind of need? Right, so I'm going to go and visit Robin. I nearly called her What's-Her-Face. Because visiting Robin is a good idea, methinks. And if we can get that sorted, it might work. I mean, I'm hoping it does. That's really what I'm kind of pushing towards at the moment is I hope that what my current plan is will work out well, in that I will hopefully be able to slap down the what's it called? A shed in a good vicinity of the house, because that's really what I'm after. I want to make sure that I can have a good shed where I can have my stuff organised, and I don't think that's a bad idea. Again, it gives me more floor space to play with, and it just neatens up the layout of the farm, and that's not a bad thing to kind of have. Right. Oh, she's not here. Great. Thanks, Robin, for just not being where you need to be. Ugh. I swear, a lot of the key players in Pelican Town are like, oh yeah, no, this is I run my shop for this day, all the days, it's great, we'll do things, and then they're like, yeah, but hear me out, I ain't here. It's like, thanks for that. Well, we've cleared a little bit of space. We'll have to fiddle with it in a bit and see if it works. Right, so let's deposit the gubbins back that we don't need to worry about. And that's fine. We'll just go from there, I guess. Now, what else do I want to make? So I need wood, stone, and other gubbins. And then I'll be able to make what I'm after, which is kind of important, is it not? Okay. So reorganize that. So we've made 5 extra mayonnaise machines. That's going to be kind of the way that this is going to go, isn't it? That I'm going to be making mayonnaise machines. I think 10's a good number to have. I mean, it's not exactly a bad amount, is it? Stuff gets done. It's fine. And the mayonnaise that I'm going to be producing is... I mean, how much of it can I make in a decent amount of time? That's the question. Not a silly amount of difficulty, I don't think. And I've got a lot of general oddities when it comes to... what's it called? And when it comes to, like, the mayonnaising. I've got lots of dinosaurs. I've got a few void chickens. I've got some regular eggs. And then I've got the ostriches. And I think ostriches give you a greater number of mayonnaise when you slap them in. So that's kind of all good and all. So we'll see. Okay. So let's pootle on over here. And that'll be fine. Now, question is, where to next? Well, I'm going to drink some more coffee. Well, espresso. And get around. Now, I have made some gold quality espresso. And I've noticed it does improve your health a little bit. Like, it gives you more energy and more health from it. But I don't think it lasts longer, and I don't think the speed boost is increased, which is a shame, because that would be really fun if that was actually the case. Because if it did that, that'd be great. Because that'd be funny. More than anything. Because, yeah, why would you not want that? That's funny. Okay. So we've still got most of the way there. That's good. We'll get this sorted. It'll be great. It'll be all well and good. And that's what we're after, isn't it? What next? Oh, goodness. I guess that's the big question, is what next? I'm going to try and make, before the end of the autumn season, I am going to try and make more of the rings. So I can try and figure out if I'm actually vaguely closer to what I'm kind of aiming for in that regard. Because I don't think it's going to be super difficult to make that many of the rings. I don't think. So I'm going to make pineapple jam. Because pineapples. Yes. Right, let's make all this. And see what we can do. Now, of course, one of the other things that I'm sure I could sort of think about is when it comes to like the preserves and pickles and stuff. You get things like chutneys versus jams and jellies, and I kind of want to look at though the actual differences of those, because my ADD brain's going, hang on, what is the difference of those? What is the difference? Why don't I think about it? You know, that sort of brain pan logic nonsense. And yeah, I think that's a question I should ask and try and find out. Because it'd be interesting to know. I think as part of it really is what can I learn from it all? Because yeah, there's quite a lot that could be thought about. I guess. I know it's probably not the most exciting of general thought processes, but it's a thing that's going on in my brain. Right. Let's see what else we can do. Well, we're going to sell all the jellies and preservative thingies that we've kind of organised now, so that's fine. And that's kind of what we're after is, again, having stuff able to be looked at and understood, which is, again, useful. Reorganise this. I don't know why I've got hops in here. They probably need to be moved somewhere. Where, however, I'm not sure. So I'm going to have to figure that one out. Where am I going to put them, and what am I going to do with them after that? Again, that's my thoughts on this one, at least so far. So I'm going to slap some more useful goodness in here. Again, we're going to have to just make starfruit jelly. That's what we're doing here. And that's not a bad thing. Righty. Okay, what's the next main question we've got on this one? What else can we kind of wrangle? I guess that's the big question, isn't it? What else can we sort out here? And how are we going to do it? So we're going to put down a few more mayonnaise making machines. So we're going to, again, make more mayonnaise. Shock and horror. Who would have guessed that one? Yeah, I know. I'm painfully aware that I am an idiot, so don't worry. So yeah, I'm going to sort that out, and that's fine. And we will go on here. And I think what I would like to do, it's probably not a bad idea, is just quickly check and see. It would be nice to sort of have a better idea of the progress of when the ostrich egg would hatch. Like a timer sort of thing would be kind of nice to have. I'm not expecting that like a... I mean, it'd be kind of a fun thing to sort of have just as a... I mean, I'm trying to figure out what the best way of suggesting it is. Almost like something that one can make that you then put into your doodads. Do things. Like you can put into your areas that you've got hatcheries going, and that'd be kind of cool to actually have as a maybe not a modded thing, but something that will be, maybe that'll come with 1.6 and give you a general timer, which again, that'd be cool. Not expecting much from that, but it would be cool, I think. So yeah, so we'll do that at least. Okay, now what else can we sort out here? I mean, that's the other thing I've got to sort of figure out is what else can we sort out and do today? Because, you know, I've got some ideas. What that is, don't know. Right, so we're going to head down to floor 50, which is currently overrun by bouncy spidery horribles, which need to go away, because they just need to go away. Now, I'm probably going to just sell the void essences, because I've got the number of them that I kind of need. I'm already sort of well organised and sorted on that front. Don't really need many others. The question really comes from how many of them do I actually want to hold into stockpile? Because I do have a reasonable stockpile of both solar and void essence. And part of me is kind of wondering if actually I might be better off and better served by only keeping a stock of 100. I think I've got stacks of like 500 of both, which is a little bit silly. In the grand scheme of things, it's quite an absurd amount, and I don't really need that much. Wood and stone, yeah, that's a little bit more forgivable, but those two? Maybe not. Okay, so let's trundle on down in the mines. We've got more ghosties. So ghosts appear in the mines around these levels, and I think it's the main reason I'm here. Is to kill ghosts for Rasmodius. Oh, thank you, Ghosty, for making me nauseous. Thankfully, I have ginger ale on hand, so I'm less concerned. And that's fine. Yeah. Shouldn't be too much of a worry. But that is generally something I'm sort of considering, is how frustratingly difficult would it be for me to actually end up with all the things that I need. And how am I going to do it? So let's see what else can we wrangle here. Well, we're going to mine this bit, and we're going to kill that ghost over there when he comes back over. Be gone. So that should be the ghost slain. Yeah, I've got to go speak to Whizbang, Mr. Rasmodius. And once that's done, then we're kind of sorted on that front. I'm just murdering these dust sprites again, because actually I'm after the production of coal. And again, I'm always going to need coal. It's just a constant need and constant drive at this point. I need coal. I need it. I need it. I need it. So we're going to mine this and go from there. Right. So we've got some more bat wings, which again are useful for making the... what are they called? Doodads. The lightning rods. So we're going to organise all this. We've also got ourselves another pressure hood for the sprinkler system, so that's really good. Not expecting to get that, so that's kind of nice and helpful. So it's been a reasonably profitable day, I personally would feel. It's been good. So, what else can we do? Well, let's grab the other iridium. I think we should probably smelt some more, because I'm going to end up turning that into... what's it called? Yeah, I'm going to end up turning it into fertilizer at some point. So it does need to kind of happen on this one. Which isn't a bad thing. But it's just, you know, that's what I need to do. Righty, so I'm going to grab all this. Just make sure everything's all good. So I'm going to sell those. Don't need those. Don't need that. And is there anything else that I can just quickly grab while I'm here? Well, I've got lots of blueberries, we've got corn. And we'll just grab all that, and that's fine. It shouldn't be super difficult to sort out, I don't think. Yeah, we'll just grab all that. That's fine. Again, we've got the corn. That's good. We'll get the blueberries. I've got some star fruit over there as well, which we're going to have to replant. I mean, it's only 12:30. We've still got an opportunity. We should be fine. Because, yes, I could sort of think about it. Oh, do we have the opportunity? Is there time enough? And yes, honestly, there is. There's less concern for me at this point. Because, again, I can just teleport back to the farm. If I couldn't teleport back to the farm, then yes, I'd have more consideration of whether it was actually a viable and useful, sensible plan. Right now, nah, I think it's fine. So, let's kind of sort this one out for ourselves. Right, so we're going to make sure we've got the... keeping the fertilizer and starfruit in there is probably a very sensible plan, because then I can just quickly crack that in and just get it done, because that's what needs doing. But yes, one of my other thoughts as well at the moment is just making sure I've actually got everything as well organised as I can, and that's kind of a given, isn't it? Right, so... I think we're pretty much ready and wrapping up for today, so I'm going to bid you all a very fond farewell. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you have enjoyed my madness for today, please do like, share and subscribe. Please do comment below, because comments are always nice, and I do try to respond to everyone's. But yeah, thank you very much, and once again, thank you very much to my Patreons for supporting me doing mad Stardew stuff. But until then, I will bid you all a fond farewell, and hopefully I'll catch you again the next time the Walrus plays Stardew Valley.